Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. He's going to receive legal advice today over former Prime Minister Scott Morrison's secret ministry appointments. And joining me live now is the independent Senator Jacqui Lambie. Jacqui, good to see you. We spoke about this last Monday and here we are. We're still going.
Still going, mate, round and round and round. Surely there must be some new news out there. Look,
well, I mean, I'll just ask you one question, because there is a cost of living crisis going on at the moment, but the Solicitor General's got his findings. It's going to go to the PM today. Anthony Albanese has already said that he hasn't broken any laws. So where does this go from here in your view, or where should it go?
I think it's all but over. I think after a week of it, I think we've said enough. But, it's Scott Morrison's own moral compass. The electorate of Cook needs to decide whether they still want Scott Morrison to represent him. And if they don't, then pick up your phone, start making phone calls. I would hope that the people of Cook have enough common sense that could see what's been going on, like many other Australians out there. And, if he was never going to see out the 3 years, maybe it's in his best interest, the Liberal Party's best interest, and the people of Cook in their best interest to say goodbye very shortly.
Well, what sort of a distraction would he be if he stays in Parliament?
Look, if he keeps having things like this popping up, it's not going to be good. Look, the Liberal Party is struggling to pull themselves together after being in power for 9 years. They're really feeling that hit. I don't think right now what they can't afford is distractions. And if he's going to continue to be a distraction, but more importantly, on behalf of the country, mate, then get up and leave and go and find something else to do, because that would be extremely helpful. We're coming out of COVID. It has been a difficult few years. There is a lot of clean-up to do, and quite frankly, concentrating and spending a week on this, I think we're about exhausted, Pete.
Any advice on what he should do next?
Well, I know what I'd be doing. I'd be resigning. That's what I would be doing. So with whatever moral compass he has left, I suggest he have a good look at himself and probably say goodbye.
OK, on to migration. The New South Wales Treasurer's come out with an interesting concept today. He wants a low-skilled visa to be applied, especially to the care sector, to boost the migration levels here in Australia at the moment. Just in New South Wales alone, according to his figures, workers are going to be 300,000 short within 4 years. So that's a pretty staggering sum that's going to cost the economy $80 billion. What sort of an increase more broadly do you want to see when it comes to migration, Jacqui?
Oh, I hadn't heard about that lower visa thing going on, but, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. I'm not sure what that would involve. It'd be very interesting to hearing about that, but we do know that we need visa holders in this country, and as long as it is safe to do so, the Met can come in. We know we have a massive shortage. We know, it's great the unemployment rate is right down, Pete. That's fabulous. But you're always going to have that small percentage of Australians who've got disabilities, drug and alcohol, mental health issues that are not going to work. So I reckon, talking about being exhausted, we've about exhausted our own workforce out there, and we need to do something pretty quickly. There's a call. We do have the aged care. I am worried about the childcare sector. We need to determine which are the top 20 job places that we need to fill, or business, out there in the corporate world, whatever, whether it's aged care, whatever it is, people, we need to do something, and we need to move it fairly quickly. That's a real problem. The other problem is this, mate. People aren't talking. Once they've got through this, I suggest they talk about what it's going to look like in 10, 15, 20 years' time. Because I can tell you, our children will be lucky if they're having one child, let alone 10 or 5 of them. So we're going to have a real problem in years to come, especially in some of those sectors like aged care, of who's going to look after us. So once this is over, I would like to have a longer discussion on what we look like in the next 10 years.
Well, I mean, and the point's been made already this morning that the rules here are too obstructionist, and many other countries have worker shortages as well. And other countries at the moment are just much more appealing than ours. Are you concerned about that?
I am, and I think that was always going to be a problem. When COVID hit, we didn't give them JobKeeper. Some of them were without money. They couldn't get to services, and they couldn't fly home either. So I think we've left a little bit of a bitter taste in their mouths. And I can tell you, most of them, there's quite a few of them that are young out there. That spreads through their social media. If there's other countries that are putting incentives out there, like an extra $2,000 just to come in and do 3 months' work, then, of course, we're going to be right on the back foot, which is a real problem. We are really going to have to sell this And I think we're going to have to run a lot of media in other countries to get them back here to Australia, mate. There's no doubt about that.
Well, the argument is this morning too, it's based on the fact that we have a very low unemployment rate at the moment, which is fantastic news. And it's all about finding that middle ground where we increase the number of migrants, but also keep unemployment at very low levels. Where's that line, though? That's what everybody's talking about at the moment. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I wouldn't be too worried about that line, mate, because I believe that we're just under a million workers down. So I'm not too concerned about the line right now, because right now we need to bring quite a few 100,000 in fairly quickly. How do we best do that to entice them to come back to Australia and start doing what they were doing beforehand? That's the question that needs to be answered.
OK, Jacqui Lambie, good to see you as always. We'll talk to you soon.